Hi everyone, this is my second game for today from the London Chess Classic Round 6. And with the white pieces, we have GM Topalov, and with the black pieces, GM Wesley So. This is a sad game because Topalov is definitely, basically, to use a poker term, is on tilt this tournament. He's having a rough time here, and this game is just a short miniature to show an example here. So this game started off e4, e5, knight of 3, knight c6, and instead of bishop b5, bishop c4 has been seen a lot nowadays because players are just simply trying to avoid the Berlin defense and kind of still get that classic Roy Lopez position, with c3 and the slow build up, etc. But of course, black can equalize against this easily, which was shown, back in the 1800s, pretty much. So what's funny is like you see all this modern chess, a lot of it's just rehashed stuff uh, from way back in the days, Morphe times, just with a little bit of computer enhancement, people reviving positions, looking at them again and stuff. But basically, the verdict is still the same. But nevertheless, you have a chance to outplay your opponent. So c3, knight f6. So again, the idea is c3 to build up this full pawn center, gaining tempo on the bishop, and knight f6 kind of thwarts that by attacking the e pawn. Okay, so d3, some d4 can be played, but d3 is a more modest and positional attempt. Again, white is basically trying to play a Roy Lopez without having the bishop on b5. But that bishop on b5 is everything because it exerts pressure and there's always a threat to take this pawn. Without black being under a threat to protect the pawn, he could basically use his time to do those things that he wants to do. So, for instance, instead of having to worry about the protection of this pawn, he can play a move like knight f6 because he's saying, "Hey, my pawn's not threatened. I'll threaten yours." You see? So d3, a6. Again, many different moves can be played. The idea is just to tuck the bishop away. a4, gaining space. d6. There's many different possibilities, such b4 can be played, etc. Bishop g5. The bishop goes back into safety. Knight bd2 and h6, h4, and g5. So he basically is just harassing the bishop, pushing him back. Bishop g3. This move is also possible, but got to be careful when you make a move like that because the knight is temporarily unprotected. Here, I think it's okay, but you just have to be mindful of it. And for instance, moves like that, knight takes e5, and here, knight g3 is playable. But then you go into this sharp line right here. And say king e7, knight g6, king takes f7. You see, so you have to be mindful. You can't just play moves just by rote. And then here, I think white is a little better because of the exposed nature of the black king here. So that was not played. Castle was played instead. And Topalov castled. Now here, bishop g4 is perfectly acceptable. But knight h7. h3. And notice how soon as white weakens his king side just a little bit, creates this right here, this what's called a hook. So immediately goes to exploit that. D4. So Topalov tries to meet a flank attack by attacking in the center. I'm playing D4. E takes D4. And knight takes D4. And G4 is played. Now if knight takes D4, C takes D4. Bishop takes D4, then white can start marauding and invading on the queen side. Excuse me, on the king side after queen takes H5. So G4 is played first. Now Topalov captured and Wesley So captured. And now his king side to me is looking real shaky. And now Topalov plays knight C6. B takes C6. E5. D5. And I think white has a good game here. I think this black's king side is weak and his pawns are jacked up. So Topalov plays a natural looking move in bishop E2, just attacking this pawn here. Queen G5. And then he plays A5, which is interesting to me. I think the reason why he played it is to clear this A4 square, perhaps to get this rook into the game. And he kind of underestimated black's continuation. So there's A5, and then F5 comes. And this move forces white to basically destroy his center there and open up these files for black, the F file for black. So after E takes F6, knight takes F6. And even though black's king side looks a little suspect, there's a lot of pieces over there. So it's not like white can exploit it or attack anything. And this bishop is lurking here on this diagonal. And that means this guy is vulnerable. So there it is. Topalov did have that in mind, and it looks respectable. He has 3 pieces attacking this pawn, but white has 3 pieces defending. Excuse me, black has 3 pieces defending. He plays rook F7. And now rook E1 is kind of dangerous because he's taking protection away from this F file. And Topalov's pieces look awkward here, unorganized, uncoordinated. Rook here. It looks like they lack a plan. It looks like a plan is missing. Like the pieces are just randomly placed on the board. And now Wesley So makes a simple threat to just snatch the bishop. Notice that this can't be taken due to the diagonal presence of this bishop. So he's actually threatening to win the bishop. So Topalov tries to solve the problem by tactical means, and the idea with the rook coming to E1 is he figures he'll be able to invade on his back rank, somehow have some type of mating attack against white, since the back rank is kind of weak and this bishop is still here. But watch what Wesley So does. He sees deep into the position. He takes, right, again, the knight cannot be captured. Knight takes G3. And there it is. So Topalov goes through with his plan. King steps up. And now he captures. Right, rook takes C8. Right, so material is looking even. as far as the pieces are concerned.
Check.
And then bishop takes f2. I don't know what he was expecting here. I mean, if even if rook takes c8, bishop takes c8, bishop
Check.
takes f2 still wins. So I don't know
Check.
what he was looking at. Bishop takes f2, king h2, and I mean, just looking at this position, I mean, with this open file, it definitely looks like um, Topalov is about to be mated. And
Server announcement.
this is the whole reason, believe it or not, why I put this game up. Because I'm always talking about opposition, and the game ends on the opposition. In this case, we have a piece of lower value, which is the queen, opposed to the piece of high value, highest value in the game, which is the king. And there's nothing that um, White can do about it. So he resigned. That was a wrap, right? So he played king h3. He didn't resign yet. I wish he did. But I just wanted to show you how powerful that the concept is. You know, when you get a chance to do these type of moves, you know, the player always has to give up a tempo sooner or later to get out of that opposition. Reason why is because this knight move is going to be deadly. So he has to give up time. He has to move. And when somebody gives you time, you know, in layman's terms, that's like, hey, here's a free move. That's almost like as if they passed, you know, and say, you know what, I don't want to move this time. I'll let you go again. That's basically what it is. So knight e2, and then Topalov had enough as he saw that the mate was going to be forced. There's really no way to stop it. The only way you can stop it is by doing, you know, stuff that a computer would do, like rook g8 check, stuff like that, and just go crazy, basically, and just giving up all the material. But so I can't say this was a brilliant game by Wesley So. I mean, he just took advantage of the mistakes that are definitely out of form Topalov made this game. Um, you know, basically that's what happens in these type of tournaments when when the guy is you know, hurt, so to speak, or wounded. You know, it's like all the sharks are like surrounding him. They see the blood in the water. So it's like, you know, Topalov is just like, you know, looking exposed, and all the GMs are just coming after him right now. So, you know, hopefully he can, you know, do a little better. You know, at least get some draws and get out of here, because that has to be rough, like psychologically, just getting beat down like that. Um, so, because basically he never really had a chance in the game. I mean, he had a nice position, you know, decent position coming out, but just the fact that Wesley So felt like he could just play that aggressively with the black pieces against him like that, you know, lets me know that, you know, he knows that Topalov is definitely out of form and miscalculating and everything, and so he just took advantage of him. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. As usual, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys shortly with another video.